fingers.
Nice.
SoccerChronicle.com informa Los Cachirules, el podcast con más garra, pasión y picardía que hasta el equipo de todos. Y ahora con ustedes, Los Cachirules.
Yeah, I just realized I cut off the last part. Sorry about that, boys. This is Los Cachirules, a podcast that airs weekly, bi-weekly, probably daily at some point. But my name is John Jagu. This is episode 8. I have with me a cast of characters, a couple of folks from California. We have Joel Aceves. How are you, sir?
Doing good, doing good.
And we have Juan Uribe. Enjoying the clásico tapatío, Juan.
Hey, what's up, party people?
And we have Daniel, SoCal Dan, just joined us this week. How are the collections coming along, Dan?
Daniel Cobrador. I'm great. How's everyone?
Excellent. We have a guy who lives in Philly, but you cannot mistake his Houston accent, Ronnie De Luna.
I told you, you need to refer to me as el hijo pródigo de Big Soccer Titlán.
I'll remember that next time. And then in Connecticut, we have Christian Velez. How are you?
Hello, guys.
And out in Arizona, we have Fernando Regino.
Saludos, saludos. How you doing?
All right, so let's there we go. That was on loop. We had a nice podcast on Monday, covered a lot of topics, but it seems like tonight we'll probably dedicate about an hour or so to the words that Mr. Manuel Lapuente said, which I have right here, so I'll play them for you.
Las cosas, no porque tengamos jugadores en nuestra cara, va a ser la mejor selección. Oiga, hemos hecho el ridículo en la Copa, tanto trabajo que nos costó entrar a la Copa América para quedar en el penúltimo lugar, pues es una vergüenza. Y luego pues, llegamos a una Copa de Oro con los mejores europeos o como una selección la más grande y mande, y nos vimos en ridículo porque nos eliminó Panamá. Y eso hay que tenerlo en cuenta. Si bien el premio fue para México, ¿verdad? Porque ganó el último partido, sí. Realmente hay que verlo futbolísticamente hablando. Panamá fue mejor, iba ganando 1-0 y marcaron un penal que definitivamente ese sí no fue.
O sea, a su juicio, la generación actual mexicana, digamos, por lo que ha mostrado, no solamente le falta mucho, sino que es de las peores.
Yo así lo veo, vuelvo a repetir, hubo generaciones mucho, la generación como la que yo tuve, hasta ahorita no hay nadie, ninguna.
Well, there you have it. Once again, Manuel Lapuente, who coached Mexico in the 1990 Gold Cup, 1991, and lost to the USA 2-0 when the USA was practically an amateur team, and then coached Mexico in the 1998 World Cup. Didn't have the pleasure of dealing with World Cup qualifiers, and did play in a couple of Gold Cups, or coach rather, won one, lost one, we just said, and then took Mexico to the Confed Cup in 1991, and which Mexico hosted, and then beat a Brazil Olympic team at the Azteca, saying that this current crop of players is the worst generation of players. Well, actually, somebody else said it, but he agreed. Why on earth would he do that? What benefit would that give him, or just I'm not really sure why he would want to say anything.
It's a delusion of grandeur right there, where he's comparing his generation to, the current generation. Everybody sees, oh, this is the most talented. Well, no, my team was way much better. Obviously, he's just not He's getting senile now. He's a little too old for this now.
Okay, let's start with some actual numbers, because I feel like not only is it the wrong time for Lapuente to come out and say this, it's just really nonsensical. If we look at, for example, the team that he coached at the World Cup in 1998, this is a team that finished second in its group with 5 points and ended up losing to Germany 2-1 in the round of 16. So they ended up with a goals for was 8 and goals against was 7. So all in all, most of us remember that team as a team that battled and had a lot of heart and obviously had some quality to it. Now, if you compare this to the 2014 team, this is a team that finished second in the group as well. However, it did it with 7 points. And and 5 goals for and 3 against, including the round of 16 game versus Holland. With that said, is winning the Confederations Cup at home against Brazil's Olympic team plus a few other players that different than winning the Olympic gold versus Brazil's Olympic team plus a few others? I don't know. It comes out of nowhere, and I said it in our Twitter feed chat earlier today. I think he was baited, but he also left. The door was open for him to make these declarations, and he not only didn't. He just opened the door. He ran right through it, head first, and continued to run down the hallway and outside, jumped right out the building. He's not. This is not the right time for this kind of. Sort of detraction, to be honest.
What was the initial question that he had made? What did he initially ask Lapuente? I'm just because all I hear is his response.
Honestly, I'm not sure. Did anybody hear it?
I heard it. He says that at the end he asked, "So are you saying that this team is not is the worst generation?"
It's not that. It's the previous question that is in question. Now everybody heard that one. Look, I agree that maybe the timing is not the best, but Lapuente has a lot of points, and believe it or not, this is not the first time that he has spoken about the national team. He's spoken about the national team not too long ago. The sentiment of bringing up Copa America. What do you call it? Atlantis one of Atlantis owners. They also a couple months back they were talking about how it's pathetic, how Mexico fought for years, begged for years to participate in Copa America, only for Mexico to basically just not treat it with the same respect as we once did. So in that regards, Lapuente is right. I don't think it's Lapuente is with Vucetich. He is probably they're the most successful coaches in the last 30 years in Mexico, without a doubt. So it's not like he's feeling like jealous or he's envious or but I think collectively speaking. I see his team better. I see the teams from the late '90s to the early, better as a whole. But right now, because honestly,
that's fine. His teams can be better, and I probably agree with you. But
you
call
remember
this generation the worst? Believe me, I've been around.
What's the purpose of those
comments? The thing is, this generation has a big core of players. At least the last 2 cycles, they have a big core of players that play in Europe, which are the best leagues. Some of them are in the Champions Leagues, and they got a lot of recognition for what they did as youth players. And but just to backtrack a little, the Mano's team in the Olympics, that was his first team. That was gonna be that's the team he was preparing to play in Brazil. So, yeah. So I think that's kind of maybe that Olympic goal has some merit, but it's still
only play the people that are in front of you.
Yeah, same thing with Lapuente's team, the Confed Cup winner. They had to beat whoever was in front of them,
I mean,
and that
Mexico made a living off beating the Brazil U23. It's one of the reasons they got so high in the FIFA rankings. Seriously.
One thing is that times have changed. Now CONMEBOL needs Mexico to be in their tournament for them if they want to make money. Those television contracts, there's a reason why Mexican teams are in Libertadores, because they need that revenue. So it's not more like, we have to fight tooth and nail to get into Copa America and treat you with disrespect. No, they need us there. So I don't see that point anymore.
But no. But there was a point. There was for a long time that Mexico did. I mean, they negotiated and renegotiated. They tried to get into those South American tournaments, and I mean, up until there was a time when we weren't giving Copa Libertadores the respect that it deserved. Same with Copa America. And
but those are two different.
America, they gave its fullest respect up until Chuck Blazer decided that Mexico had to send a U23 in 2011.
That's the thing.
Mexico always sent if not their strongest team, a very strong team.
If they're not respecting the Copa America, though, is that really the actual NT's fault? Like, if you're going to be making those criticisms about the NT being the worst,
whatever. Go on.
That's more of a discussion that if you're going to be criticizing the federativos, I mean, that's where that conversation belongs. That's where those criticisms belong.
But he's criticizing the player pool. He's saying the player pool collectively, they're not much. But it's still
not. But that's still not factually correct, and it's really down to opinion, and to factually state it as something that's either right or wrong and make it a binary issue. Whatever point he was trying to make goes out the window, because, like Daniel just said, I mean, whatever point he was actually making, it got muddied. He dirtied the water, because it's a couple of different things that he's talking about, and at the end he sort of glosses over it and uses the player pool as sort of the carriage for his point, and it doesn't make sense, because Daniel just said it, and what he said is actually absolutely correct. The issue with Copa America is not an issue that the players have a say in. I mean, that's just the higher ups and the priorities they place on the Gold Cup because of endorsements and TV deals now supersede whatever can be done in Copa America. That's really not the players' fault.
When's the last time Mexico was in the Copa America final?
Okay. Well, I have one question.
2001.
Yeah.
I have one question.
So,
do you guys remember the image of Chicharito on the bench last match day of the World Cup qualifiers, where we're basically for a couple minutes we're basically eliminated?
Yeah.
And do you remember that?
Yeah.
Now, keep that in your head. Keep that image in your head. Does Lapuente have a point?
Yeah, but it's not. But it doesn't. But that's
no.
I
don't care. I don't.
As
I don't
good
care. I
then
don't,
as
I don't
you're
care.
now. I mean,
that's the thing. That's circumstantial to me, because he specifically talks about the Hex and the Copa America, which I think he absolutely has a point in regards to the Hex. But I don't personally, as a fan, I don't care how we get there as long as we get there. So if the metric is what we did during the qualifiers and home and away versus CONCACAF, obviously he has a point. The Copa America, it's a little bit less clear because, like I said, like Daniel said as well, that's more of a federativo issue. But again, I mean, to use that as some sort of crutch to say that this is the worst generation in the past 20 years, I mean, we can do a player-by-player comparison, and I mean, I think at worst, these generations are even. And this particular generation still has another Confederations Cup to go, still has another qualifying round to go, and still has another World Cup to go. And I think that has to be kept in perspective. If we have this conversation 3 years from now, I think we can actually make an accurate assessment and figure out whether or not he's actually on point. Right now, it's like pissing into the wind. I mean, it doesn't make any sense.
He doesn't.
Hold on. Hey guys.
After Tuca, everybody's happy right now. Everybody's happy. How did you get to that game? How did you get to the Gold Cup final?
Referee mistakes.
By winning.
No, but forget that. How was the team playing?
It was struggling.
And how many players were in Europe?
Like
And
that's
how
when they
many
go
players out of those
I
players?
mean,
How
just
many
count
have
them.
2 months
Now,
off where they
question:
start playing
does he
again?
have a
Gio,
forward?
Vela, HH, Guardado.
Does he have
When
a
did their
What
forward?
is that
season?
for?
When did their season?
Moreno, Memo.
When did their seasons end? They ended in mid-May, late May. When did the Gold Cup start? In mid-July. They
July.
had 2 months off.
Yeah, you can use you can explain some of these things away with logic, and not with emotion.
Let's not use logic, by all means.
Well,
that's
here's the deal. Like, Lapuente is talking like, oh, we should be qualifying to the World Cup, caminando.
Hey, but that's an MLS excuse, man.
And the thing is, he didn't
MLS
qualify a team.
You know what?
All I'm saying,
qualify that team for Lapuente. He doesn't even have no idea what it takes to qualify a team through qualifiers, World Cup qualifiers.
All I'm saying is we're talking about a coach who in 2002, when he was with America, and I bring this up because of the importance in using playing with what you have, doing more with less, where he not only they basically bucked up.
Is this where they bucked up and had their massive hour-long flight to Morelia for the Copa Libertadores?
No. But what I'm saying is, you're having 5 games in 8-9 days, and you're taking care of business. So I mean, there maybe Piojo should have sent more players to Copa America. Aside from Tecatito.
But he couldn't. And then risk losing the Gold Cup so that he could get fired.
Hey, but you know what? Even if these players are off like 2-3 months, the MLS excuse where they say their teams are out of form. At the same time, you have this group of players, they haven't rested, so they're carrying injuries. So I mean, I think it goes both ways on that. Yet, if you're rested, you heal from your injuries, keep yourself informed. The tournament's coming. So to me,
hey, let's not go too far.
Okay.
2007, Copa America with Hugo Sanchez.
Third place.
And honestly, it's a final that he lost again in the U.S., but it's a game that they should have won. Now, okay, it could go either way, the game, but you had the team played, aside from the Honduras game, which the Honduras game that was played over here in New York, the team did all right in the Gold Cup, played a pretty good final, and they also, like I said, they got third place in Copa America. Why not do that this time around?
Well, the balance of the team back then was a lot stronger than the ones we've seen the past 2 years.
On the contrary, Hugo was going through a transition with players. Your Borghetti, your Cuauhtémoc Blancos, your Rafa Marquez's, not so much Rafa, but
remember he tried to include Gio and Vela in his process early on, and he he ran into trouble with Chucho.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, why? I mean, Hugo risked it. Why not Piojo?
Yeah, but Hugo also had the blessing from the teams to let him play both tournaments. He didn't have the blessing from the European teams to do. The only one he had was negative.
That was the last time we were able to do that. And if we can go back and look at the core of the Copa America group, I still think that whatever that core was a bit stronger than what we sent this past edition. At the end of the day, I mean, a game here, a game there, and you're done. I mean, it doesn't. It's just regards to Lapuente's comments. I don't necessarily understand why the comparison, to be honest. And second of all, again, the timing of these comments. This has been a good summer for Mexican soccer, I think, on most levels. I mean, we can argue about the merits of the Gold Cup or whatever.
Emotionally, yes. But looking at it cold, no. They played like crap.
Absolutely.
They played like
Gold Cup.
Hey, that team, the U.S.
If you were to ask an Argentinian, a Chilean, did we look terrible? Did we lose? Did we get help from the refs? Did we handball like 9 goals into the net? Hey, you know what? Who cares? We won.
Exactly.
Guys, facing the playoff.
Guys,
the quality of the U.S. team in the playoff.
Guys,
we all agree it's one of their worst teams in recent memory, right?
Yes.
John, for you guys that are saying,
what was the score?
Who cares the way you played? Okay, I understand. You win that game and stuff like that, but the laws of averages are against you when you're just winning these games just with like little bullshit fluke goals and stuff like that.
What about the Jamaica game? They played well in that game.
That one they did.
You know what though?
There was games where they did play well. There's games that they played poorly. At the end of the day, though, when you look at a tournament, if you're lifting the trophy, it's got to be deemed a success.
Right. It's exactly the point. I mean, this is about winning. I mean, we've all gotten used to playing well and losing. So when we play okay or bad and win, it's a problem. And all of a sudden,
what are we, Spazos now?
In 2000, in 2010, Spain lost the first game and ended up winning the World Cup. So it doesn't matter how you get there, it's winning it.
Dale, Juan.
They beat one of the worst U.S. teams in history. They beat them in extra time 3-2, right? And so we're saying, if we want to say this is one of the best generations, or even a generation as good as previous generations of Mexico teams and player pools, I can see Lapuente's point. If this team's struggling to beat one of the worst U.S. teams in recent memory.
Well, again,
that's completely relative because
my issue with Lapuente's comment is, first of all, he was wrong about Panama. Panama's a good team. They've improved dramatically over the past 5-10 years.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest matchup for Mexico right
and
now.
Absolutely.
Thank God they're not in Mexico's semifinal group, honestly.
We've struggled to beat them over the past 4 or 5 years. And to be honest, that game in the Gold Cup versus Panama was the worst game Mexico played, even beyond the Trinidad and Tobago game, to me, because you didn't really see where the team was going to find any way of winning that game. But at the end of the day, that was a refereeing mistake. And even a mistake can be put in quotation marks, because I still don't believe that it wasn't the penalty call in the first goal. That's semantics, and that we shouldn't really waste time on that.
The other thing about Lapuente's comments
isn't that excuse making though?
It's almost his comments. It's as if he's still frozen in the mid-'90s and thinking that the Central American teams are these tiny little teams where Mexico could walk in and win 4-0, 5-0 without even breaking.
We know it's not.
That's excuse making, guys. Because
I don't agree with that, because Lapuente as a player was eliminated from a World Cup.
Exactly.
I don't think
he knows.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna despreciar these small teams.
No. He look, the timing. I agree that the timing is off. His comments. But as far as the substance of what he said, he's got a lot of valid points.
You know what?
I don't agree with that.
He's got a lot of valid points. Well, you may not agree with it, but I mean, didn't we have Martinoli? Remember how he was cussing the team the last match day? Oh, I love you, Estados Unidos, and then just talking crap about the Mexican team.
Yes.
I mean,
hate that guy.
Screw Martinoli, man.
No. What I'm saying is, dude, we had to play the playoff.
Mexico played badly in that. It happened.
Okay.
Well, hold on. Let's
Lapuente should know.
Let's
he
talk
lost
about
to
those
Haiti
points
and
again.
got kicked out of the World Cup. So
who won the World? Well, let's see. Who won the World Cup qualifying cycle in 2002?
Costa Rica, I think.
What did they do with the World Cup?
Is there a trophy?
Exactly. Who won the World Cup qualifying cycle in 2006? The U.S. and they finished last in our group. So again, who won the World Cup qualifying for South America in 2002?
Hey, do you know
And what happened in the World Cup? So what are we putting weight on? Is it the qualifiers or is it the actual World Cup? Isn't that what we always strive for? Is it the World Cup? So you can criticize and you can talk about it, but we haven't even started the qualifiers. I mean, it just doesn't. It doesn't make sense. And I know you keep saying, Ronnie, that he's got valid points. Whatever points he may have had,
which I want to know too,
he glossed over them.
Hey guys, I see this as a perfect pep talk for this team, because the last 2 cycles, you've got these players. They're in Europe. They play in Europe. Maybe they got an ego where, hey, the level of this confederation is beneath them. And maybe this is exactly what they need to hear, a reality check, like, hey, you know what, okay, you guys have all this potential, but as a team, you haven't done anything. And, you need to be maybe
a little bit... But that's also not right. I mean, they've done stuff.
Like what?
They've done as much as previous teams have done. I think that's kind of the point. To say they've done nothing is you're driving the car off the cliff with the kids in the back, just despite their mother. It doesn't really make sense.
What?
They've done,
Are you kidding me?
Maybe she's a bitch. Maybe she's a bitch.
You know,
she probably is. She probably is.
it's a reality check.
Let's take a look at Giovanni Dos
Guys,
Santos.
man,
He won 3 Gold Cups.
Now he's
you
in
know.
the MLS.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. This generation, you keep calling this the worst.
I don't see how that
generation.
erases anything he's done.
Dude, he's retiring early.
It's like a,
He
it's
did
an easy
retire.
cheap
He's
shot.
retiring early. How can you
about Gignac playing in Mexico that he's retiring early?
No, he's not. He just got capped to.
It's funny you
Well,
mentioned.
that's what he had said. He thought that
His
his chances
perspective.
were 100 to 1 to get called up again. But Juan, you were saying, what were you saying recently? You were just saying something.
About what I was mentioning about the pep talk, or
Well, yeah, you think that you just said that you don't think that they've done anything.
yeah.
What
look,
do you define as anything?
Look, they've won some tournaments as you know, some youth tournaments. They've they got the gold medal, obviously. You know, and that was without Gio, without Vela. But I think as a group,
Gio was with the.
Gio was injured in the final. I'm sorry, but yeah, Gio was in the tournament. But I meant the final, and of course without Vela in the tournament. And what I'm saying is, you know, some of these guys might have kind of like a chip on their shoulder, where the competition in the give me one second.
Juan,
You know, it's funny about Giovanni Dos Santos. This summer he was a lazy, overweight, undisciplined diva, and since he hasn't gotten called, he's the greatest Mexican player of all time.
yeah, it's amazing how the conversation gets shaped based on the interest of certain people that have microphones in front of them. You know, including myself. I'm not gonna exclude myself from this, but I find it when it becomes a hard line and it's yes or no, right or wrong, they did nothing, they did something. I think we have to establish the parameters first. What is considered something? Because this generation, 2 World Cups in a row, finished round of 16, much like Lapuente's team. I mean, they struggled in the qualifiers, yes. I mean, that's true. But generally speaking, they've done equally as much, I guess, as Lapuente's team did. So I don't understand a comparison, really.
Joel, how did Mexico finish in the '86 World Cup?
Quinto partido.
Okay. In the 1990, they didn't make it, which, in my personal opinion, that is the greatest generation, the one of 1991 that didn't play. Anyway, in 1994,
the one that didn't. Yep, I agree too.
1994,
94 second round.
1998.
It's been the second round right for like 20 years now.
Yeah. So I might understand Lapuente's comments if Mexico didn't qualify or if they got bounced in the first round. But the fact is, Mexico's been the same for 30 years.
But no, hold on, John.
You know, the last two cycles.
Hold
there's
on.
no trophy.
2002, 2006, 2010. You use naturalized players.
Okay.
What I'm saying is,
Viva naturalized players.
You use naturalized players because you're basically you're doing shortcuts basically. So,
Hey,
I mean,
but Lapuente said that 2006 was a great team with naturalized players, right? Isn't that what he said?
Not that I recall.
Yes, he did.
He did praise Lapuente because.
Not that I recall. In fact,
with naturalized players.
Now that I recall, he wasn't too fond of the whole naturalized movement.
Yeah, he was pretty much against it. It's true.
I mean, I'd have to look through the Bocone Cangrejo timeline, but I'm almost positive that Lapuente, was not a big fan of it. Now, granted, he never, got personal after Zinha or Caballero and stuff like that. But the whole notion of doing less with more, well, it seems like the coaches from 2002 or the cycle from 2002, these guys. Using naturalized players. I mean, you think
why is it less with more?
Naturalized players or just one?
What's that?
How many naturalized players?
Well, how many? I mean, well,
do they have 18? When
Aguirre,
15? Do they have just one?
When Aguirre broke or opened up the floodgates with Caballero in 2001.
2002, yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, he did it. I think. Well, he played 2001 because
he did play 2001, yeah.
2001. I mean, we've used 10.
Not even though, but if you look at
They called them more.
I mean, it was ridiculous. I mean, I have
Yeah, but
all
the
the
first
players.
naturalized players played in the 50s, so I don't understand what the big deal is.
No, but there was what I'm saying is that we didn't use them for like 40 years.
Okay.
We didn't use them like for 40, 30 something years, and then Aguirre opens up the floodgates, and then boom, they're all coming back. They're all coming in there. They're all quick fixes. They're all shortcuts. To trying to get the team to play better. So I mean, to me, that's another. I mean, maybe Lapuente didn't talk about it, but probably it's in the back of his head, in the back of his mind.
You know what, Ronnie?
Yeah.
If Brazil or Argentina was doing that, you bet we would be hearing about it. But it's Mexico, so they kind of just sweep it under the rug.
Well, here's the thing.
Brazil won't even. They won't even hire a foreign manager, right? The Brazilians.
Yeah, pretty much. But here, check this out. So in 1998, Lapuente's team ranked at number 13 in the World Cup. Now, in 2014, Piojo's team ranked at number 10. So if we are simply going to go by the numbers, Piojo's team in this generation that he's talking about in particular finished higher than his team in 1998. So again, what do we define as being the parameters? Because I felt like the conversation and the points he was trying to make were decent and obviously whatever. But then he just the interviewer just goaded him into just talking and literally just not even thinking about what he was saying.
You got to be careful with those Sally reporters. They'll get you.
I thought it was actually. You know what? I got to tell you, we need to take lessons from them because the way that they walked him towards the door with that comment and then asked the question and just simply asked him to confirm was top notch, man, top notch. So what you're saying is this is the worst generation, right?
How many teams?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How many teams in for the 1988 World Cup qualified at a CONCACAF? Three. How many teams? And there was how many spots? 3, right? Or was there a playoff back then?
No, there was no playoff.
So if the
Reggae Boys made it, the Reggae Boys in the U.S. and Mexico made it.
Yeah. So if the same number of spots were available this last cycle,
we wouldn't have gone. Yeah,
we wouldn't have gone.
Now would have Lapuente made a? He has some points, man.
I mean, if you dig far enough into the dirt, you'll sort of find some rocks that look like gems, I guess.
Lapuente can call this generation the worst, but I'm sorry. I've been around for too long. I saw Mexico get their ass kicked by Germany, West Germany, 6-0, where they had a free kick and Germany scored on a counterattack.
Yeah.
So please, let's not talk about this generation being the worst. There have been far worse.
I think it's a reality check for these guys, man. That's the way I see it. Qualifiers are about to start.
But he didn't say they were the worst. That was a reporter.
Well, he asked him to confirm, and then he went into detail saying that this generation is not better than the one that he coached.
But it's not. I mean, I think until they.
I agree
that to prove it.
No, you can argue that it's not the best or it's not better than his generation.
The only way the generation will be considered better from here on out is if they win either Copa America or make it to the World Cup quarterfinals. Period and story. You can talk about the Confederaciones. The Confederaciones is a molero tournament.
Well, Juan was just saying that. Shit, I just lost my train of thought. Somebody else talk. Right? My head just got
dumb. Put the pipe down.
Sending people.
Don't throw the bong wall.
I think they need to prove it, guys. I mean, okay.
No, I agree. They need to prove it. But my point is that every generation has been exactly. Some may have played prettier than others.
Help me out here.
Done more with less. I get that. That's fine. But the bottom line is that nobody since Bora's team in '86 has done more. Period. End of story.
Okay, well let's talk about individual players. How about we talk about some individual players? I'm going to throw out a couple names, and you guys tell me if you think these players from Lapuente's generation or around his generation are better than the current players. Okay, is Luis Garcia better than Carlos Vela? Okay, is Jesus Corona better than Carlito Arellano? And is Javier Hernandez better than Palencia, Borghetti, Sage, and Hermosillo.
Then Borghetti was a limited player, but he's a specialist, man.
And he's still the leading goal scorer.
And you know what? He's the one
for
that
like a minute.
He's the one that taught Chicharito at Chivas how to head the ball. That's why he's got a lot of goals that he's been scoring with headers.
So you admit that the student surpassed the master in this case, which is about to happen pretty soon.
I don't think that's up for debate. I think that's kind of the point. Like, you have these much better players. They've won a lot of things as a youth tournaments. They've got gold medals. They won the first World Cup, which was a youth World Cup for Mexico. But at the senior level, given all this, you could say it was hype. You could say potential. You could even say talent, unrealized talent or realized talent or otherwise. They haven't proven that they're better. Yeah, they've done the same thing, but that's kind of lowering the bar, Cause
it's not lowering the bar; it's keeping the bar where it's at.
Right.
Yeah,
but it's lowering the bar, given the attention, the work that's been done for.
I think it's kind of harsh to just chastise
since the youth level.
Hey guys, when you consider where these players are playing, you consider the money involved now. The money from 98, 99 to now is completely different. So when you talk about the money, when you talk about basically, also where these players are playing, I mean, you do expect more from these players now.
Yeah, but we only have a chance to expect more from them, every 2 to 3 years, and so that's why I feel like the timing of the conversation is weird because, again, this team, they went through the hex last, 2 years, 3 years ago, and it was absolutely terrible. But now they have a chance to redeem themselves. They went to the Confederations Cup in 2013. It didn't go well, but now they have a chance to do it again. So again, and they'll be having another World Cup again in 2018. So again, that's just kind of like the thing. Like once these things are played, we can go back and say, well, yes, no, they weren't better. They were better. They were worse. They sucked. They were in between. But right now, we don't have a lot to go on, and at best, we can sort of agree that they're kind of at similar levels. So the conversation just goes in circles.
Something we're not including, in my opinion, that should be included in the discussion is: are the Mexican coaches better than their senior, guys like Lapuente and Mejia Barón?
How many Mexican coaches do we have in Liga MX right now? We talked about this.
Do we have more or less?
Yeah. Compared to what
94, 98.
I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but I would venture to say that right now we have less Mexican coaches in the league.
No, we do. We obviously do.
Does that play a part in this? What do you guys think?
Well, okay, if you were talking about naturalized, keep in mind, La Volpe, Romano, Ferretti, Turco, all these guys started their coaching careers basically, or making their careers in coaches, Reynoso. These guys, they spent, 20, 30, 40, 50 years in Mexico. We're not talking about like that Paco, that dude from what's his name from Santos, Paco, the Spanish dude.
To me, that's no different than naturalized players on the national team. In my opinion, that's
what's that?
If you count those players as Mexican coaches, I think it's no different than like Captain Caballero that pretty much spent his
whole career.
What I'm saying is, like, for example, if you take in Chaco Jimenez will tell you, like, straight up that his, how they have like the mentor, the guy that he looks up to, feels, ideology and stuff like that. Chaco looks to Ojitos Mesa. So I mean, if Chaco in the future goes into coaching, he's gonna try to do what Ojitos did, and to a certain point, Cardoso's also doing it, because they learned a lot from these good coaches. So I mean, I don't think it's really the same as as the player thing, the whole naturalized Mexican coach, because these guys, I mean, they played for so long in Mexico. Cardoso's been in Mexico since '94.
Hey, Villafranco.
What's that?
Franco.
What is he doing? What is he doing nowadays? I don't even know.
He's obviously no.
He's a businessman now. He's investing. Yeah, I think he was investing in a team, but I forgot which one.
I mean, Alonso, Alonso, which Alonso also. I mean, honestly, this is just I know we're going off subject here, but for me, I can understand Cardoso, because obviously what he did in Toluca and the years he spent in Mexico. Alonso, I don't see why they would give that guy an opportunity. When you have other young Mexican coaches that are also looking for that opportunity. I mean, it's not like Alonso really made a name for himself in Mexico.
I'm pretty sure that Guille Franco is Chicharito's personal cock blocker.
He showed up.
Well, there you go.
All right,
that's a very good question, though. Who are the young, good Mexican coaches that are coming up through the ranks?
Ramoncito Morales, but he's going to take a different path. He's going to be coaching youth teams, probably the youth national teams, and then in about 5 to 7 years, he'll probably get a chance in Liga MX.
Now, good thing you're talking about this, because there's been a lot of coaches that didn't really have illustrious playing careers, or really just maybe played amateur and stuff like that. Chiquis Garcia, obviously you guys know that Chiqui Dracula. He obviously, got his
referee.
The referee. He actually got his.
Antonio Rodriguez.
No, El Chiqui Dracula. He got his coaching degree from the Mexican Federation. Joaquin Beltran also got his coaching. El Capitan.
Del Olmo too.
Del Olmo. So I mean, honestly, there's a lot of guys. That young guys that have their coaching degrees. In fact, I don't know if the Mexican Federation website, still has it published. I know that before they tinkered with the new one, I know that they used to publish, each semester's graduates, and you would always see ex-football players on it.
What about talking? Okay, you know how you were talking about earlier that you gotta do a lot with less. Well, What about Nacho Ambriz? What he's doing with America? He's doing good, right?
That's Peláez, so
No,
get him in check, right?
Well, no, you know what? Obviously, I wasn't too. I mean, as a obviously he's been an assistant coach with what's his name, Aguirre and stuff like that. But when he ventured solo, obviously he hasn't done well.
But isn't he considered like a new coach?
But he's doing
limited more than anything else.
Exactly, but he's doing well. You know what? One guy that I admire in a crazy way, because he takes these, he has the teams playing well, but they're also very limited, is El Chelis. I thought he did really well in Puebla, and obviously you guys know Puebla's, they have crazy owners too.
What about Profe Cruz?
El Profe?
La Volpista.
I've always thought that Travieso Guzman would be a guy that a bigger team could take a chance on.
Well, he had a shot. He had a shot with Tigres. He did well with Santos as well, but then he fizzled, and that's kind of what happens, Same thing with El Olmo. He got a shot with Tijuana, and also,
they fired him before they fired him and brought in.
Yeah, he was with Pumas too for a bit. Thank God they got rid of him.
Didn't Joaquin Del Olmo get Tijuana to first division and they fired him?
And then they got rid of him. Yeah.
He's in Spain right now with Real Oviedo. He's like a general manager.
Oh, is he for Slim's team? Doesn't Carlos Slim own that team?
Yeah, he bought the team.
All right. So in a perfect world, and I said this earlier today, if Osorio somehow makes it through 2018, then to me the next guy that should step in line should be Potro.
Well,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. To be honest.
You know what? Mexico's situation, both coaching and player-wise, as far as the Liga MX, is very similar to England's, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities.
Well, more so now that England has less and less English players.
Less English coaches.
Well,
they're naturalizing some as well, right?
Vicente del Bosque made a very, very, very accurate comment yesterday where he said that the English style doesn't exist anymore. And if you look at his quotes, it's very interesting because he's simply saying that the intensity and the verticality that English teams were known for is something that's been adopted by pretty much most teams around the world as part of a modern game sort of approach. So those intangibles that sort of benefited England don't really exist at the club level or at the international level anymore. So you can make a comparison to Mexico, at least in CONCACAF in that sense, and I think that's where Osorio comes in, because yesterday or the day before, where Yayo La Torre was asked point blank, I think it was yesterday, by Ante Marin, what went wrong? What specifically went wrong during the qualifiers last, in 2012, 2013? And he didn't even bat an eyelash. He said, the coaching staff, and the people involved with the coaching staff, we were not able to figure out the tactical setups of the opponents at home or away. And I think that if you look back at what the qualifiers were, Mexico played literally the same at home and away. Sort of trying to employ a sort of patient build-up and at times quick counterattacks, mostly through wing play. And there was no variance. There was nothing that was different with the approaches, and so it was a lot easier for these other teams to figure out how to play against Mexico than it was for Mexico to break them down. And I think we're going to talk about Osorio soon, and I think that's one of the things that is going to be different this time around, that hopefully will give us different results.
I'm paraphrasing because I saw that interview too. So he said we made no adjustments, but we made up for it by underestimating the teams.
Right. And then that's something that Osorio actually talked about as well. He said he talked to some of the players, and by what I get out of that is that he talked to the players that were part of the last cycle, and they said that on some level they felt like they, consciously or unconsciously, they underestimated the rivals, and pretty much dug themselves a little too deep, and they couldn't find a way out. And like Ronnie was saying, in Lapuente as well, it was an embarrassing World Cup qualifying cycle, and we only made it because, by the grace of God, the playoff was against New Zealand instead of South America and or Asia, and so there you have it.
Hey, now given the context of those comments of Yayo's comments about the players underestimating the opponent, let me finish this point. Doesn't Lapuente's comments that, hey, these guys, they haven't accomplished anything new, or they're a worse generation than some of the ones he mentioned. In your guys' opinions, you think his comments helped the team or hurt the team?
This current team?
Well, obviously it helps, because anytime Mexico can play with a chip on their shoulder, they always play better.
Yeah, that's been proven in the past. Thanks Croatia's coach at the time.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if that's totally true. I mean, there's been games against the U.S. where they've had a chip on the shoulder and it's gone completely to hell.
Yeah, that's not a chip. They had a mental block, but I think that's gone. Thank goodness. There's a little bit of it there.
I'm not trying to defend Chepo, and maybe and obviously Yayo and them would know better. I mean, because they were there. But I do remember many games that they should have won, but they just couldn't define. They just couldn't score. They would generate a lot of goal opportunities, goal chances and stuff like that.
Under Chepo?
Under Chepo. Remember, like, for example, when they played Honduras in Honduras, we were up, I think, at one point, 2-0 or something like that?
We had a couple more after that, yeah.
Exactly. So what my point is that obviously when you're playing in Azteca and they park the bus, it's going to be hard. So your players have to be committed, and they have to be concentrated more than anything, and not to hurry things up. And basically try not just to send just crosses into the box all day long. I mean, just try different things, long-range shots, little walls, give and goes, stuff like that.
Hey,
do you think the crowd helps in that sense at Azteca?
In the Azteca the Honduras game in Azteca, Mexico had had chances in the beginning to put the game away.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand why Yayo's saying that. and obviously those goals that where Mexico's gotten beat, with their, the backs exposed and stuff like that. That's not new. I mean, that's been going on with Mexico for a long time, because Mexico likes to keep the possession.
Hey,
But there were a couple of games that Mexico played in the Azteca where they had no chances on goal. The Jamaica game and the Costa Rica game, and you cannot do that at home.
But I'll say that the Jamaica game was pretty bad. But the Costa Rica game, that was the third game of a 3-game series.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that'll be my excuse.
It was still at home.
Hey, Nestor, I think after the Gold Cup, after the Gold Cup ended, where Mexico lost to Panama, and they were eliminated from the knockout stages, eliminated from the tournament, he mentioned, like, he went on TV, he gave an interview, and he mentioned that, hey, I'm not sure what's happening with the coaching staff, if they're not doing their job scouting the teams, or if the team got overconfident. Hey, we won the gold, now we're the bee's knees. So it's interesting to say Yayo, who was actually on the coaching staff, and he's saying, hey, we weren't doing our job.
Yeah, he pretty much said they couldn't figure out how to really move the team forward in those situations. That's something we talk about, the difference.
But how do you break the bucket?
You know what though? In the Gold Cup, I noticed in the opening game he tried a 4-3-3. He had Rafael Marquez center forward. He had Raul Jimenez playing on the right, and Fabian on the left. And I think, like, I envisioned that lineup with Vela in it and Gio. And I think something interesting would have happened, but unfortunately, that the team, that lineup didn't work out. His tactics didn't work.
Yeah, that was against Panama. And you know what? The thing is, he hadn't done that up until that point. He just kind of threw it out there, and I'm not sure how much he practiced that.
I think they didn't. Remember, they had that controversy that then I had to go with them to Brazil, and it was actually Chava Reyes Jr. that stayed back to prepare the team. So I think that was probably they're going to be their plan B or plan A going forward.
Hey, Juan.
By the way, yes, I know what you're going to say. Go ahead. Say it.
Okay.
I want to hear from you.
This is where you start screaming and celebrating.
Yep. I knew you were going to say that. Go ahead, dude. Celebrate with me. Golazo!
That was a great goal, though. See, that's what they pay Marco Fabian for.
Cristiano's clase Chivas.
Dale.
So this will put him in 16th place in the relegation table. Is that what it will be?
This is simply a moral victory. That was a hell of a goal, I'll tell you that, if you guys get to watch it.
Man, he frustrates just to no end, Marco Fabian. He is...
Ay, no hablen mal de mí.
Just don't expect much, and then you won't be disappointed.
That's kind of guy should have gone on loan to...
Lower your expectations. That's a Homer Simpson line, man. If you expect nothing, the good things will happen, and so that's how I live my life.
Keep in mind that, Chivas has a mess at the top in the leadership, so maybe either Vergara or his wife or Vergara's wife put him up to that press conference, so, I can't put it all on Marquito. Somebody had to...
as talented as that guy
probably.
I mean, when he played that tournament in Toulon, wow.
Yeah, the chemistry with Alan Pulido was great, man.
And with Jimenez too. Both of them, it was just tremendous. But anyway, all right, moving on.
By the way, Colima, I expect a gift for that at minute 70, between 78 and 79. You'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I didn't get a chance to load.
I don't think he watches Crash Games, though.
That Joel wanted me to loan. Oh, dear, did that just happen? But I do have a commercial break, so we're going to take a break, and I'll be right back.
Para el pase largo y lo tiene. ¡Yogurt! La cadena radiofónica Longhorns en español está aquí en Fiesta 97.1 FM. El próximo partido desde sábado 14 de noviembre. Desde West Virginia, el equipo de los Longhorns visita a los montañeses de West Virginia. Escúchenos a partir de las 10:30 de la mañana, 97.1 FM.
SoccerChronicle.com informa Los Cachirules, el podcast con más garra, pasión y picardía que hasta el equipo de todos. Y ahora con ustedes, Los Cachirules.
Nice.
I'm John Jagu. We're joined by a legion of
Mind blown.
folks that know their stuff about Mexican soccer. Gonna do a little roll call again here in a second. I'll do that though by announcing somebody and having them give their prediction for Friday night's game. So let's start with Daniel. Yeah, what's your last name? Good lad. I keep it to say Daniel.
Preciado.
Daniel Preciado.
Like
Daniel Preciado. Thanks.
like my boy Julio.
Okay. Daniel Preciado, how are you, sir?
I'm great, and I'm predicting a 4-0.
4-0. Wow. All right, Fernando Regino out in Arizona. What's your score prediction?
It's going to be 6-0. Chichari's going to break that record. It's going to be the top goal scorer for the Mexican national team.
I love your optimism.
Way to go, dude. I'm with you, man.
Joel? Joel Aceves?
5-0.
5-0.
5-0.
Juan Uribe out in Long Beach with the kids screaming. What you got?
I'm going to give you a 1-0. I think anything more than 1-0 is going to be too much hype, and that hype train is going to get derailed eventually.
And out in Philadelphia with his very thick Houston accent. What was I supposed to name you?
Ronnie.
Oh, just Ron, and not the...
O el hijo pródigo de Vixoquiltitlán.
There you go. What's your prediction?
I'm also going with 4-0, but the goals, not Chicharito, El Salvador, they're going to park the bus, so these goals are going to come from the back line.
Look on set plays?
Yeah.
Well, I also think Mexico's going to win. I think they'll win 3-0, maybe 2. As if they get a goal in the first 15 minutes, then I think it's going to be a slaughter, but I don't think that's going to happen. Well, we'll see it up. We should probably do a podcast after that game. I'll be in West Virginia, though. So I don't know if they have internet there.
I'll probably be in a bar drunk with my dad watching the game.
Fair enough. Well, we won't have to do it. Okay, so let's talk Juan Carlos Osorio this week and his crazy idea of playing players out of position, which no national team coach has ever done before. So this is like virgin territory in the world of soccer.
It is.
I love that intro, man.
He's got his Che Guevara hat on, right, or his T-shirt under his dress shirt, right?
I guess the guy they're talking about is Miguel Layún. He wants him to cross instead of cutting and shoot. How many goals has Miguel Layún scored for Mexico, cutting in and shooting?
I think 0, right?
Exactly.
No, he's got a couple.
Oh, he
Check
scored
the
against
math. Check the
Israel
math.
and Molero.
Got 2 against Israel. I think he's got 1 in another friendly game. Probably around 3 or 4, I would say.
Okay.
Well, keep in mind, fullbacks aren't supposed to be scoring a lot of goals anyhow. But if they can, add a little bit more to the attack, why not?
Well, is his job more to shoot or to cross as a wingback?
That depends on the situation of the match. I mean,
well,
maybe Osorio's adding by subtracting. You know what I mean? Subtracting Layún's crossing with his left, therefore adding overall.
Apparently, Layún has been scoring like crazy during training these past couple of days, playing from the right, and he's got he's got quite a bit of, a few assists anyway. So I'm not sure what that says anything because it's a training ground scrimmage, but I think if anything, the most important thing about moving Layún to the right is, excuse me, like I mentioned on Monday, is it's going to allow Osorio to really be able to change the approach during the game without having to make, various substitutions like we've been used to with Chepo, for example.
Speaking of that, we do have a little clip of him talking about his tactical setup, not just for this game, but for the next game.
Yo creo que son 2 juegos totalmente diferentes, entonces hay modificación. Pensamos que en el segundo seguramente que puede ser un 4-3-1-2 o como el profe Pinto lo hizo con Costa Rica, de defensa de 5, 4-1. Entonces seguramente que todo esto lo estamos tomando en consideración. Pero el primer partido, que es el más importante en este momento, ha sido difícil investigar a El Salvador por los acontecimientos que todos conocen. Sin embargo, hemos tratado de hacer una tarea más personalizada, analizar jugador por jugador, y eso obviamente que nos ha llevado a ver muchos juegos de la liga local para ir identificando jugador por jugador, y presupuestamos que va a ser un equipo que juegue 4-1-4-1 o 4-4-2. De antemano, básicamente la responsabilidad está para el mejor, para el más fuerte, que en este caso somos nosotros.
Any comments?
Yeah, he's just trying to sound smart.
You know,
Oh, you don't know what he's talking about.
to me, if a manager is giving you his lineup, basically, oh, this is how I'm gonna line up. I don't know. It's kind of arrogant towards the opponent, in my opinion. Or I don't know if you guys see it that way, but
I don't think there's a need to study your opponent if they're bringing in their C team.
No, if you do.
To me, that could be construed as arrogant. Why wouldn't you want your coach to be prepared?
Yeah.
For any possible scenario.
Hey, well, all due respect to El Salvador, it's El Salvador, dude.
Yeah, but we said that about Jamaica. We said about Panama.
Yeah, but did they send their C team? Did they send their C team?
Well, he's also talking about bringing in 2 different lineups, right? One for El Salvador and then a totally different one for.
Well, I don't think he says he's going to make some changes, but it's not going to make it totally different. But the media just ran with a totally different thing.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing with Osorio. Is the first game of the World Cup qualifier really the first? Where you should need to be experimenting.
You have no choice.
He is experimenting.
No. What I'm saying is.
But his whole tenure is an experiment.
Is there really a need to take Layun? Okay, assuming Aguilar was in Polo Aguilar was healthy, which he was taken out. But saying that, for example, that Layun and Aguilar are going to be fighting for the same spot, they're going to be playing in the right. Okay, I understand. I understand if you want to do this in a partido molero, in the U.S. and stuff like that. But you know what? If it works right now, if it's been working, where Layun was on the left, why don't you keep that right now? Why don't you keep that right now for the first game? It's your first game as a coach with the national team. I mean, I don't understand. To me, and I made this comment in our chat session.
You're contradicting yourself, Ronnie.
No. What I'm saying is, Duca did well. Duca did well, but Duca also, and he said it himself. Duca even, met with the players and said, "All right, guys, how do you want to do this?" They came. They said, "Okay, this is how we want to play. Okay, now let's, this is how we're gonna play. Let's commit and let's get to work."
Yeah, but that was the circumstances were different. I think we can all agree on that.
No, but I'm saying it's just saying there's no need to do it now. If it was working right now with Duca, what I'm saying is it seems like he wants to reinvent the wheel. It seems like it's like La Volpe going to Boca Juniors.
How is he
Basile?
I don't see how he always never played to the
right.
If it was working, Lapuente wouldn't have called these guys the worst generation in the last 30 years.
Yeah, that's
in my opinion. So, I think you need to give Osorio a little rope. He might ham himself with it, but
I agree.
Yep.
I don't think that moving Layun to the right is like a big, seismic shift in that sense.
Osorio is using his rope. He's he's going to hang himself with his own rope. I mean, I don't.
They all do. That we know that.
From attacking Mexican coaches, from day one, to and even Reynoso said it yesterday, where he sounds pretty, but it's just all words,
Well, it's just words up to now.
What I'm saying is, it seems like he's trying to come across as like, he's some mastermind, some teacher.
I don't think so. I think
I don't get that impression at all because that's the way he's always been. He's
Okay, let's
Now,
look
now,
at
now,
Sven.
now, question.
Let's look at Sven Goran Eriksson.
You know,
Hold on,
it might just be his accent that bothers people, dude. They're not used to the Colombian accent, you know? Because that's how they talk. I've noticed, like,
No. It's
Why you
not
gotta be
that.
racist, dude?
absolutely true.
We've had
xenophobic, not racist.
We've had
It's a
Colombian
difference.
coaches in Mexico. We've had Colombian coaches in Mexico. What I'm saying is that no one was thinking of this guy as some brainiac when he was with
Obviously,
Chicago,
no.
and no one thought he's some brainiac when he was with Puebla. No one thought he was a brainiac when he was with the New York. No
So
one
what?
thought.
He didn't have the spotlight in Puebla, but when he was in MLS, people did scratch their heads at his methods that are just simply more developed now compared to what they were
What did
6-7
he win?
years ago when he was in MLS.
What did he win in MLS?
Exactly.
The supporter shield.
He took the Red Bulls to the MLS Cup final.
He won the trophy, the Colombian League, like 6 or 7 times. I mean, is that any value to you guys in general?
The Mustang League, nah. It's not. No.
Look, guys, it was Sven Goran Eriksson when his first match. What's a World Cup qualifier versus Honduras, and he made some drastic changes himself too. It's not the end of the world when a coach wants to tinker with the lineup. There's nothing wrong with making a change, and Sven ended up winning.
But there's a time and a place to do it. It's like and I use this
say World Cup qualifier.
I use this example all the time.
Has Basile not ever played on the right? Has he played on the right before?
Yeah, he has. He played in the right for America a bunch of times, too. That's why I don't understand what the gripe is. I feel like we're looking for things to complain about, and it's not.
It's overblown.
Wait a second. Looking for things to complain about Mexico fans.
Oh,
Mexico, because Mexico won at World Cup.
Don't worry. I just slapped myself in the face.
No, okay. This is valid. I mean, I remember when Hugo got on board.
Yeah, but the point is, you have no idea how he's going to do because he hasn't coached yet. Everyone's already making these
They haven't even played their first game yet.
We're basing it off on what he has said.
Okay. Maybe his style is to see a whole bunch of crap in the press conference and does something entirely different. You have no idea.
You know what I care about? What I care about is Osorio like a freaking workaholic. To me, that's gonna tell me whether he's gonna deliver results, positive results, or not. How much time he puts into the project itself.
Okay, well let's go into some of the formations that he's used during training the past couple of days. Okay, the very first thing he did when he had all 25 players was he played a 12 versus 13 scrimmage, which is a little strange, but there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
he wanted to get everybody moving.
Crowd
to
the
get
number. No, you also crowd the.
Right, to crowd the field and create situations that the players can exploit during the game because there'll be ideally a bit more space for those guys to operate. But that was only a show for the press because that day, I think it was Tuesday, it was an all-day practice essentially. It was open to the press, so there was a lot of things going on. Now he did that, and then he lined up these two particular teams, and there's a reason for this. So the first team he lined up was Talavera, with Dedos Lopez, Reyes, Moreno, Torres Nilo, Gallito Vázquez, Herrera, Aquino, Vela, Jimenez, and Peralta. Okay, that's the first team. The second team he lined up that they played against each other was Memo, Lajun on the right, Ayala, Alanis, Fuentes from Pumas on the left. Alejandro Castro, Guardado as the two center mids, Corona on the left, Jurgen Damm on the right, Gullit Peña, and Chicharito up top. Now, the idea, based on the way that he's done, with his clubs before, is he wants from Corona and Damm to seriously just exploit 1v1 battles and look to put crosses into the box for the forwards to finish. In this case, Hernandez and Peña. Now, with Vela and Aquino, he's asking them to come inside.
I don't see it that way. I see Dom and the other guys exploiting the flanks. Gullit playing the secondary striker, basically behind Chicharito and sending crosses.
To take him on 1v1, beat their man, go down and put the crosses in. With Vela and Aquino, though, on the other team, he's asking the complete opposite. He's asking them because they're playing opposite their natural foot, Aquino on the left and Vela on the right, but he's asking them to cut in and combine with Jimenez and Peralta as a forward.
So that the outside back, the fullbacks can provide the width, right?
Right. So what you exactly. So what you can take from this is he's gonna. These teams aren't set in stone, meaning that one will play on Friday, the other one will play on Tuesday. He's gonna take parts of each team and play them against each other to see what the starters are gonna do against equal caliber players. Now this is what he did on Tuesday.
By the way,
when it was an open
baby.
session. You know, what he's done since today, for example, that was a closed session, we have no idea. We have absolutely no idea. So, like John was saying, we're all getting hyped up and getting wrapped up in what he said and the little bit we've seen, but we don't really know what he's going to come out with.
That is definitely correct, and it's up for debate. We should actually get into this conversation after the match. You know, after El Salvador, after Honduras, because I have a feeling he's gonna have like the B team versus Salvador.
Well, I think playing. I mean, John was saying that he doesn't think that
we're gonna see a less.
Now, but when he's talking about playing with 2 9s, does that really make sense right now?
Why not?
No. Knowing that you're gonna face a team that's gonna park the bus, is 2 9s really the way to go about it?
Why not? You know, one of the players might be playing out of position, right?
Okay, Pern, do you know what 2 9s are?
Yes, I do.
I know you don't. I know you
it's
don't.
99. It's 99, guys. I got the answer. 99.
Pern knows what I'm talking about. It's an old big soccer joke, but no, I'm just saying playing with 2 9s when you're gonna face a team that's gonna park the bus. It's not. I'm questioning it.
So what are you suggesting?
Play with 3 9s.
What's that?
Play with 3 9s.
3 9s or 2 10s.
Worked against the U.S. And they parked the bus.
I mean, honestly,
Osorio actually praised it too, the way it functioned.
Yeah, well, I think we all
over it, so.
It worked very well. I don't think. I mean, that was circumstantial. I think. We could expect better performances.
I was never a fan of using the line of 5, and Diego, the old Cruz Azul Boca player, Diego Latorre. You know, I remember he said something, about that type of style, saying that it's basically stupid because you're just overworking your fullbacks, the wings. And obviously, I mean, I think he made the exception. Well, granted, if you're Brazilian, you have Cafu and you have Roberto Carlos. That's one thing, but not too many teams have that.
Well, Layun is Layun right now. Let's not forget.
Exactly. So I mean, when Piojo started, because honestly, when Aguirre did use the line of 5 in 2002, and I wasn't really a big fan of it. For some reason, under Piojo, when he did it with America and also with the national team, it worked. So I mean, honestly, I would.
It worked until he ran into the Netherlands. Then it didn't work.
No,
or was that his bad?
No. What happened with the Netherlands is that they started protecting the lead basically with 40 something minutes left in the game. They should have attacked more. They should have pressed more, and then hold on. Then maybe if the game is still 1-0, maybe.
Yeah, but Holland also made adjustments, and they pushed their lines up and.
The water break, though. When Paul has said, he took advantage of the water break.
Yeah, that's true. That rhythm, whatever rhythm we had, kind of went out the window. And then it was like 25, 30 minutes. It was like Holland just pretty much stepping on our throats. Not literally, but, figuratively speaking, I guess.
Yeah. Now, going back to saying, playing with the 2 9s in the box and stuff like that. Now, look, I'm not knocking on Chicharito. The guy, he's an Enrique Borja. He basically... He scores goals. It doesn't have to be pretty, but he scores them.
Are you sure that's an apt comparison?
No, even Reynoso said it. I mean, he was he's Enrique Borja. I mean, obviously, Reynoso loves Borja. They were teammates and stuff like that. But the guy,
Did Borja play for Real Madrid?
No.
Manchester United.
Dale.
No. But I think what is it? Joel said it best that Chicharito can cross the ball to himself and score goals.
You know what? He assisted himself in a couple goals, right? He bounced it off his face.
Yeah, I mean, hey, but I'm just saying I don't think that I don't think that playing with two center forwards when the team's going to park the bus, I don't think that's the way to go about it.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to play with 2 9s.
Well, let's hope not.
It's all.
He mentioned against Honduras he would, right? He mentioned a 4-3-1-2.
I think against Honduras is the right way to go with 2 9s. Not sure at Azteca really. You're gonna have to. You need width. You need to exploit the flanks because El Salvador is gonna do what every team will do at Azteca. They'll stay compact and just crowd the middle. And I think we had a hard time doing that, breaking down the teams last World Cup qualifying cycle. Did the same way. They gave us the flanks and we didn't really do anything with it. So
yeah, we did. We sent like 80 crosses in.
Yeah, so. If you put Jimenez and Chicharito or Oribe up there, if you got good crosses, I think that's where the idea of Layun playing on the right comes in. So I don't know. I guess we'll see.
They just need players on the field with individual ball skill that can get by a guy, maybe 2, and then find the open guy because he's got another 2 crashing on him, and that's how you beat the bunk.
Yeah, you're going to need Tecatito. You're going to need Jurgen Damm.
You need guys that can get by guys, not passing it, because you're passing to a zone that has 1 of yours and 4 of theirs.
This is why I've been kind of arguing that Jonathan Dos Santos would be the perfect.
I like how you say that, John.
Mexico.
You need guys that get by guys.
Yeah.
And get more guys.
Well, Gallito just every time I think he's not the guy, he plays so well. Guy is just incredible. I take my hat off to him. He is a great player, just totally out of the blue.
Yeah, he's definitely doing well at Leon too.
Play against Holland. Salcido. Salcido had a chance to ice the game, and he.
Who? Hold on, right now?
No.
This game where he headed it the wrong way.
No. Somebody set him up. The ball dribbled right out at the top of the 18. He had a clear shot, no one in front of him, just the goalie, and he sends it like 80 meters over the bar. Just awful.
What's this meme I'm seeing of Fabian with his face slammed into the grass?
Oh, he took a nasty spill.
That's pretty awesome.
They gave him a shot on the sideline. Of course,
the slow motion of him landing on his face, it's a little enjoyable.
It looked like Fabian had a Brazilian, too, because he has to really pull his shorts down.
Hey, you know what? There's Almeida meme. Ganó los 2 clásicos. A los que no lo querían. And I guess it's a Maradona quote after.
Que la chupen.
Que me la chupen. I remember that happened. I had a Texas game the next day, and I was talking to the media relations guys. I was like, when is Mac going to react like that after a big win to the press?
Never.
Oh, hey, dude.
I guess Almeida delivering the goods, so seriously, he brought the way Chivas was earlier this season, to winning the trophy.
He has to keep winning. He didn't have a choice.
He crashed out of Liguilla, so that's actually worse than last season.
Can Chivas focus on what they really need to focus on and get out of relegation?
Well, I think Dorados are not going to get out of it unless they do some drastic signings or something. Or they get La Volpe.
Yeah, but if they win a couple, then their coefficient jumps so much higher than everyone else's. All they have to do is get out of the 2 seasons, like maybe 43, 44 points.
What is La Volpe doing actually in Jaguares? Nothing, right?
He's doing well. They're like
he's got the team playing well. They're doing pretty well.
He's not getting paid though, right?
Hey, speaking of doing less with more, La Volpe is the one who's definitely maximizing his squad. Look, you have a Tronco Villalpando, a Trash Mustafa, you know what I mean?
They were the only team to beat Pumas at home.
The birds of a feather, right? Redburn?
Here with Chiapas, who the hell is that guy?
Chiapas, he came from Pumas.
I know, but
he's a Guatemalan Mexican.
It's a Pumas reject, right? And he's getting.
He was with Pumas for a while. He was a Pumas guy for a long time. I think he might have even gotten one national team, maybe like an Olympic team call up or something.
All right, so
somebody might run
off here in a second, but so we covered Lapuente, Osorio. We have a game on Friday. Everyone seems to think that Mexico's going to win comfortably. Anybody else have anything to add?
I think the game to watch will be against Honduras. I think El Salvador, and I don't think that game will tell us much about.
That definitely define what Osorio has to offer.
I might agree with you if Mexico had played well at home in the last one, but they didn't. They only won one game out of 5, lost another, and tied 3 more when they didn't score a goal. So, and they scored 3 goals total in 5 games. So I want to see how they do at home.
I think the one thing we want to see, I guess, even though you're not going to be able, like you said, Joel, that you're not going to be able to tell much, is I would just want to see them win comfortably. Don't make this a stupid drama. Like make it more complicated than it should. So as long as they win comfortably, I think that's a good sign at least.
There shouldn't be any doubts. That's their C team.
Oh, I agree. That's what I'm saying. Like, so at the very least,
when those Wilburs are up against their backs, dude, they get nasty, man. Dude, you gotta be careful with them.
Okay, so
can't take them lightly for sure.
Fernando, what's your expectation then as we wrap it up here tonight?
In regards to this the last match, well, I think that hopefully Chicharito scores his first brace right at the beginning, and that will open the floodgates. I hope I hope he does start. I'm pretty sure he will, but you never know with this new coach. You don't know what to expect.
I don't think anything to worry about.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, he's too hot not to start. Joel, so your expectation is they should win comfortably. Honduras is where you want to see him do.
I want to add a key factor is how well players are doing right now, and the core of the team is doing extremely well. So, I mean, I think as coach, you just need to hand out jerseys, and they'll know what to do out there.
Jerseys and orange wedges. Let's go, boys.
That's it, dude.
Hey guys, so sorry.
Go ahead, Juan.
Do you guys think because the elevation advantage, El Salvador squad is gonna fly in? I think like the day before, and they were mentioning the elevation. It doesn't affect you until the 3rd day. So maybe, the
just the fact that they have to think about it, it's already affected.
But you know what? Isn't there a couple players making their debut with the national team?
They have a couple of players that have never even been capped for the national team. So, yeah, I mean, they trained with sort of the sound of an Azteca match. Psychologically speaking, I mean, I don't expect, after what happened last cycle, I don't really expect many teams to come in or afraid or scared or anything. So, I mean, I still maintain that this is a young team for El Salvador. They're going to want to prove themselves on some level, and they're going to run, and they're going to make things tough. So, I mean, if it's a lopsided score, it's probably going to be after the first half. I don't imagine much will go down in the first half.
But I think it affects the Mexico players more because they got in, yesterday?
Yeah.
And it takes you, I think it takes you about 2 weeks to get adjusted to the elevation.
Wouldn't you think then that we were likely to see less of the European players on Friday? Maybe more of the local players? Probably Uribe will probably start. I wouldn't put him, Dedos might even start. Pirata Fuentes. So I'm.
What is Leon's elevation?
Pirata Fuentes.
I know. It's
I
laughable.
got your elevation right here.
It's laughable, but he's on the team, and so far all reports state that Osorio has been, he's liked what he's seen from him. So you got to remember, these guys are coming in with a coach that has no preconceived notions about the squad. So some of these guys might feel they have a chance to really get some minutes, and that might make the difference. Who knows?
All right, so Juan, what are your expectations?
I think El Salvador, they should just beat them 1-0. Kind of get it over with.
You want an ugly goal, an auto goal maybe, just awful. You want the fans throwing their Ibalaguas at the end of the game to chase them out because they only won one of them.
I just think if they win 2-0, it's gonna come back to haunt them once once the heck starts and they're like, hey, why aren't these guys winning 2-0? Osorio's struggling now, and
So you just want them to win. You don't care. Just get the win.
Yeah, I guess because no matter what, somehow the press is gonna find a way to attack the team. They've been doing it. They've been doing it for four, I don't know how many cycles now since
forever.
Yeah, since forever.
Yeah. Albert, what are your expectations?
Well, for this El Salvador game, I think they're gonna go in and probably get 3-0, pretty easy win. For the Honduras game, I think that's gonna be everyone's gonna be tense a little bit for that one since it's over in Honduras. But I think it'll be a win that will be surprisingly not easy, but a little bit of a surprise, maybe a 2-1 win for Mexico.
Ronnie, what's going to happen?
Honestly, I share the same feelings of the Salvadorian Federation president. When asked about the chances at Azteca, he didn't say, "Oh, they're hard." He said it's impossible. I think the own federation has done more for. I think they're going to basically the ones that are beat their own team.
Match.
I really do. I mean, I really do. I think the federation has really done a number on their players, which is unfortunate. But Mexico just needs to stay concentrated. They just need to concentrate at the job at hand. Honduras. Mexico should win, but one of the thing, what's his name? The coach, who is it? Pinto? No. For Honduras.
Oh, the one that Herrera wants.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Pinto, yeah.
Pinto. One, I remember there's a comment that he made was that ellos, no, he said ellos metieron la pata, pues nosotros la vamos a poner más. I think Pinto's gonna. I think he's going to dirty up the game. I think Honduras is going to dirty up the game.
Yeah, that's how those teams usually play. They're very, yeah.
And I think Mexico just needs to watch it. I think they just need to keep cool. Because I mean, honestly, we went there last time. We were winning 2-0. There was a BS call, penalty. Mexico should have come out there with 3 points, and I see no reason why Mexico shouldn't come out with three points. But I see 2-1 over there in Honduras. That's if we play, the players in the right positions, and
All right, Christian.
Well, I kind of agree with Juan. I'd rather just. I don't care how many goals they score as long as they win the game. And more importantly than that, I mean, I'm expecting the pattern to continue. I mean, performance-wise. So I do expect. I mean, I predicted on Monday a 3-0 win against El Salvador. I think it'll be between 2-3-0, and I also wouldn't be surprised if they score a goal too. I mean, it could be 2-1, 3-1. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like you guys all said, they're gonna question Osorio regardless of what he does. The Honduras game, I know we're going to go into more in depth next week before the game, but I do see a sort of a tight, maybe 1-0, 2-1 win for Mexico.
Okay. As far as my expectation, I really want to see the players who are playing really well take the field Friday night, whoever they are. If that's like Julian Chicharito and Leon, etc. Raul Jimenez, who I think is playing really well, just hadn't scored for Benfica. But anyway, wouldn't mind seeing that. And then for the Honduras, just hang in there. Don't fall for their BS. They're going to give you some chances. take them, and hopefully you could escape there with 3 points. But a draw is perfectly acceptable. I don't think El Salvador is going to lose more. If they lose by a goleada, it won't be more than 4 because goal differential is going to be very important for them if they want to advance. So I don't think that it's going to be a matter of just, when Mexico played Haiti in that Olympic tournament all those years ago, where they had a 5-on-1 and still couldn't score. Anyway, but I don't think that's going to happen at all. I think El Salvador is going to make them earn it, but I think that the fact that they're just very limited, they're going to commit some mistakes, and Mexico will take advantage, and Chicharito hopefully will come very close to breaking Jared's record, and they'll probably break it in March up in Canada. Those are my expectations. Well, I know that we lost Joel. He had to run off. I'm going to have to run off as well. I guess if y'all want to continue, help yourselves. But I do have to sign off.
No, ya es tiempo para la mimis for this guy.
All right. So who wants to talk league? Because we got the last match day coming
I'm going to jump off, guys. I'm sorry. Take it easy.
Yeah. Well, league is not till next week, so why don't we do that next week or the week after the qualifiers?
All right. I guess it's FAP time then.
All right.
Yeah, let's close it up.
All right, boys. Well, this has been Los Cachirules. Hope for all of our legions of fans that are listening to us live on YouTube enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed it. I'm sure you guys did as well. And we'll catch you next time.
Wait, John, before you go, I just want to throw one thing out there real quick. This is a tweet from Jose Ramon Fernandez. He said, we actually touched this a little while ago, but he basically said, la pregunta no es si esta es la peor generación de futbolistas en los últimos 20 años, sino la peor generación de técnicos en los últimos 50 años. So, I think we talked about that a little bit, and I think it bears, we can plant the seed for next time on that.
His greatest tweet, una bofetada con guante blanco, for Mexico winning the Olympic Games. Best part about that whole day was Jesus Corona's family asking Jose Ramon who he was rooting for during their interview. It's fantastic. All right, boys, it's been a great show. Thank you all for listening. We'll do it again next time.
Okay.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night,
Good night, guys.
Joe.